the hell does this have to do with the Miami Heat, Theo? Why are you complaining? Why are you bickering? Why are you over here calling out the Heat fans that looked at you in your face and said, your theory is wrong, theoretically speaking? And you calling out my theory? Okay. They looked me in my face and said, I am a fake Heat fan. I don't want what's best for this franchise, but they do. There's a reason why there was a Martin Luther King and there was a Malcolm X. Sometimes you want the same end goal, but you have different ways of getting to it. Here's the issue, C-Cat. The Heat, had they lost in the play-in, like I told Heat fans they should do, like I said on these airways for the second straight year and I got ridiculed for, had they lost in the play-in and missed this postseason, not only would they have avoided the literal worst sweep in the history of the NBA. Literally, it was the worst performance we've ever seen a playoff team have. The point differential was like 122. The closeout game, they beat us by like 50 points at our court. That was embarrassing what the Cavs did to us, and look at them now, down 3-1 to the freaking Pacers. Not only would they avoid that generational embarrassment, but the Miami Heat would have had the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. This offseason, we could have been saying Cooper Flagg is the heir apparent, the next person to carry that throne for Heat culture. He is the new star that is going to be down there at Biscayne Bay being coached up by Eric Spoelstra, a guy who we got to know over the Summer Olympics as we saw Cooper Flagg competing against Team USA and holding his own. He was ours. That pick was ours. The Heat would have had the 11th longest odds. Or excuse me, the 11th shortest odds in the NBA at the number 1 pick. The Heat would have had a 1.8% chance at landing the first overall pick. And unless you believe the NBA draft lottery is rigged and they were going to give it to the Mavericks no matter what happened, if you believe in the sanctity of the National Basketball Association, then we can both agree that sign that Mark Tatum was holding up last night, Deputy Commissioner of the NBA, that said Dallas Mavericks would have said Miami Heat because that was the exact position they were in. Now, C-Cat, grading both things, I said one thing earlier. I said that the Mavericks won the trade now that they do have Cooper Flagg. And I'm also saying that the Heat made the wrong decision. And they would have been the team that got Cooper Flagg had they lost in the play-in like they kept doing during the same team they beat in the play-in, the Bulls. They were 1-3 against them in the regular season. Wasn't like I was asking for an anomaly. You sucked against them all year long. Why did you wake up and win when it hurt you the most? If the Heat would have lost, they would have Cooper Flagg. Am I right in both of these takes that the Mavericks win the trade and the Heat lost their strategic way of ending the season?
Okay, it's tough because you're saying two things.
All right, pick the first one. Start with the Mavericks. Did the Mavericks win the trade now?
The Mavericks got lucky and are in a better spot today
Did the Mavericks
than
win the
they
trade?
were on February 1st.
Did the Mavericks win the trade, though?
Against the Lakers or against Luka Doncic?
Against the Lakers.
No.
Why not?
Because it's not like Cooper Flagg would be a Los Angeles Laker.
What do you mean?
Like, would Cooper...
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. You're saying that, Well, here's the thing. To be honest with you, Luka going to the Lakers is what pulled them out of potential play-in territory into the 3 seed, and that's what got them into the playoffs. And by the way, 4-1 loss to the Wolves in 5. Didn't work out so well this year. We'll see what it looks like in the future. But again, that's a TBD on what Luka in a Lakers uniform is actually going to mean to that franchise. If he don't get his act right defensively, if he doesn't get in shape as he continues to get older, it is much less promising to me as I look at 3 guys that are going to be on the move this offseason that I think are going to shift things. You look at number 1, Luka Doncic, who went to the Lakers. You look at Cooper Flagg, and you look at Giannis Antetokounmpo. I have much more faith in the work ethic. I have much more faith in the proof of concept of Flagg and Giannis than I do of Luka Doncic getting his act right, getting his work ethic together, and being able to pull out a championship. The West is getting strong as hell. Luka can't be lethargic no more. Lethargic Luka ain't going to work out. We saw what happened when lethargic Luka showed up this opening round, and they lost to a Minnesota Timberwolves team whose star is younger than him. He may never win a championship in L.A.
Yeah, but he's a proven commodity. He's a proven top 5 player in the NBA, which we can all agree you almost, unless all the stars align, kind of need someone of that caliber to win a championship.
Mavericks they believe they just got one.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a proven commodity. That's a proven college commodity.
All the experts are telling me this guy's a generational prospect. We saw him hold his own in Paris when he played against the current day NBA talent. He is 6'10". He doesn't have any flaws in his game. It's not like he's super duper elite at one singular thing. Defense will probably be the calling card, like rim protection. Weak side defender, he is, I would say, borderline elite at that. Outside of that, the guy has little to no flaws in his game, and he's 6'10", and it feels like he has a legendary work ethic. And oh, by the way, he's 18 years old. Luka's 26. I believe Luka and Cooper Flagg. I would rather have Cooper Flagg right now today than have Luka Doncic. And the Lakers probably would tell you the same.
Really?
And the Lakers behind closed, JJ Redick, Duke alum, JJ Redick, hard worker, gym rat, like maniacal worker. JJ Redick would rather be coaching Cooper Flagg today, I guarantee you.
But sure, that's fantastic. But again, Cooper Flagg would not have been a Los Angeles Laker if that trade happened.
Could have. Lakers could have fell in the playoffs, and they could have fell into the play-in. Anthony Davis got hurt. The reason why the Mavericks didn't work out was because Kyrie got hurt, AD got hurt and came back late. They fell into the play-in, and they lost their way out of it. You don't think the Lakers had a good shot of losing in the play? We're drawing a lot of parallels, but what I do know is, C-Cat, and you can't argue against this. It's going to be very hard for you to do so. The Mavericks don't get the number 1 overall pick if they kept Luka Doncic on their roster.
Right.
They would have been in the playoffs.
Sure.
And they would have lost in the first round, just like what we saw happen to Luka against the Timberwolves. They would be in a worse spot today.
Sure, I'm not going to tell you the Mavericks won the trade, but I can tell you the Mavericks are better off because they made that trade.
Nico Harrison's job got saved last night, and I think he had some foresight. I'm not saying the lottery's rigged. I believe in the sanctity of the NBA.
Wait, really?
A lot of conspiracy theorists out there are. And I will say, if you do, and we'll have this conversation as well. We'll have this conversation as well. Because I ran off those numbers to you, C-Cat. The Mavericks had a 1.8% chance last night. I don't think people give enough gravity to how incredibly small that is. 1.8% chance. Let's just put you in this vibe right here. Let's put you in the theory. You know what? It's Tuesday. I'm feeling a little theoretical. Might throw out a little sports theory to you. Let's start with this. The Dallas Mavericks had a 1.8% chance to get the number 1 overall pick. C-Cat, that means the inverse of that is they had a 98.2% chance to not get the number 1 overall pick. 98.2. If you walked into your doctor's office needing a surgery, and this is something you absolutely need, like maybe it's what's one of those dire surgeries? Maybe you have some real bad sickness, need some kind of tumor removed or something.
How about a pacemaker?
Need a pacemaker on the heart. Little heart issue. And the doctor says, hey, we've been doing this for years. A lot of studies out on it. I'm an expert at it. I'm real surgical with it, Cat. Real surgical with it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. You got a 98.2% chance of surviving this surgery. And it'll make you better for it. How are you feeling after that?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Sign me up. Shoot me to the top of the list.
Not even thinking twice. That is a better chance than a Steph Curry free throw. It's probably a better chance than anybody's free throw in the history of the league. That is impeccable odds. The Mavericks had a 98.2% chance of not getting that pick last night, and they got it. And what's crazy about that is that's not even the longest odds we've seen. In fact, it's not the second longest odds. It's not the third long. It's the 4th longest odds in the history of the NBA's draft lottery, which, oh, by the way, only started in 85. So you're telling me something with less than 2% odds happened 4 times already since 85? All I'm going to say is that don't add all the way up. The way that you hear the confidence in which Nico Harrison spoke about specifically defense wins championships. What is the greatest difference between Cooper Flagg and Luka Doncic? It's the defensive acumen. It is the ability for Cooper Flagg to be able to switch onto anybody, to be a great weak side protector, to be a great one-on-one defender. He has elite work ethic. That's another thing that the Mavericks and Nico Harrison were criticizing Luka for in his time in Dallas. So something that has happened 4 times since 85. That's incredible. That's a crazy statistic. You have a better chance of flipping heads 6 times in a row with a quarter than that happening. The Mavericks getting the number 1 overall pick, and that has happened 4 times since 85.